Brandon Bridge.
Imagine a fourth round draft pick.
Started at Alcorn State, slid over to South Alabama.
Native of the Toronto area.
Yeah, I got a chance to work out with him too when he was still in high school, just about to go down south to Alcorn State, and I saw a whole lot of tools to work with, and he's got all the necessary tools to be successful in the Canadian Football League.
Now Collaros up and throws, and the pass is caught as Terrence Tolliver makes the grab. 20th completion of the night for Zach Collaros, up to the 45-yard line. Matt, you've spent years up here, and you've worked with lots of good young Canadian quarterbacks. Why don't they get to the CFL and become regulars?
They're not given a chance. They're not. They're just not. It's a preconceived notion that they don't have the goods. I think it needs to be mandatory that the third guy is a Canadian so that they can develop and they can certainly have something to strive for and attain and look forward to have an opportunity to have a shot.
Fantus with the catch. It's close to a first down, but there's a flag down in the offensive backfield for Hamilton.
The way it's stated now, Gord, in the rule book is 20 Canadians, 19 Americans, 3 quarterbacks of any nationality.
Right.
Illegal block, hands to the face, Winnipeg.
And a 4-man reserve.
10-yard penalty.
So I think one of those 3, they're already mandating that 20 of the players on the teams have to be Canadian. Why not one of the quarterbacks? Most important position on the field. Start developing. I love what the league has done about putting quarterbacks in training camps to get them some polish and some experience at that level to see what it takes. I love that.
If they get a chance.
If they get a chance.
Now Collaros sidearms that for Fantus. The pass is incomplete. Brings up second down.
Winnipeg had some pressure with Damon Washington coming off the edge in Zach Collaros' face, and he got a little taste of the Hamilton Tiger Cats' own medicine right there. Got to force the issue sometimes. You can't leave anything in the tank here. You got to shoot all your bullets. I think it's important to do that for Winnipeg. Be aggressive, make things happen, try to make a play defensively, get a pick 6.
Second and long. Here comes the rush. Collaros is dropped.
And the ball
comes out. Pouncing on it is Ryan Bombin. They may have to take that football out of circulation now after Bombin pounces on it. And the Ticats maintain possession. They'll now have to punt.
Yeah, this is just pressure right here. You're going to see it right here. He's coming right up the right to the 3 technique. Outside shoulder guard beats him, pressures. Zach's got to step up. He's flushed and finished.
And the punt taken by Velton, and he's dropped right where he stands inside the 20-yard line. Paul LaPolice is patrolling the sidelines for us. Paul, what are you seeing?
Well, you know what's got to happen for this team. I mean, it's 23 points down. There's plenty of time to come back and win this game, as Matty was saying earlier. But you just got to see these guys compete. I don't care if it's on defense. They got to make a play to get the offense back in the game. Just like that happened right there. You'd love them to recover the ball. Special teams and offensively for Brian Brum, come downfield, score a touchdown, get this crowd back in the game, because this game's not over.
Spoken like a true coach.
And it's not, because you can score points in a hurry here in a lot of different ways in the Canadian Football League, and we've seen it done before.
There's Paris Cotton on the first down carry. About 6 yards up to the 26-yard line.
You know, he does a great job of running to daylight, and he's got such great reflexes and anticipation, and he's going full speed downfield, but he's got an ability to cut either way, and the defense just have a tendency to freeze as he's coming at you. We saw it last week, froze Saskatchewan several times. We saw a little bit of it there.
Repeat that.
Here's the quick throw, and the pass is picked off. Intercepted, and this is going back to the house as Brandon Stewart picks it off and scores. There's another defensive touchdown for the Ticats, who have scored offensively, defensively, on special teams. And there is a flag down on the play.
It looks like it's going against Hamilton, so this could be coming back. More pressure, and the DBs are not playing up on the receivers, are playing off, and so as pressure forces the quarterback to get rid of the football before he wants to, you're going to have a veteran player like Brandon Stewart be able to jump that. 9 years in the league from Eastern Arizona Junior College, 2 years with the Ticats. They call him Superman. The guy is a phenomenal athlete, and that was an easy pickings for him. Sat back and jumped it.
Now Bradbury having a conversation with Kent Austin. And they're going to go for 2. So the touchdown's going to stand. This penalty is against Winnipeg.
Well, that's interesting, because Osh was adamant that it was going against
Winnipeg. R.I.P. Richard Harris. And the game ain't over yet. We got more football.
You heard Brandon Stewart.
Yeah, that's pressure forcing the issue once again for the Ticat defense. Brandon Stewart is the beneficiary. He's played.
Touchdown was scored. Unnecessary roughness, Hamilton, number 97. Hamilton's going to attempt a 2-point convert. The penalty will be applied on the ensuing kickoff.
So it was a conversation with Kent Austin. When do you want to have the penalty applied? So now Hamilton will try for 2 here in a 47-18 game. All right, Paul Police down on the sidelines for us. Paul, at what point would you think about putting Robert Marv in?
Well, I think Brian Brom's moving the ball decently, except early in the game, and then all of a sudden, if he's not on the same page receivers, he's going to throw it out there like that. You can't keep turning the ball over. So it's hard if Robert Marv hasn't had the reps and all that, but certainly you can't be throwing pick sixes like that. So it's hard to say what the coaches will do. I could see him probably getting 1 more series, and if he struggles, then you got a whole quarter to play the younger guy.
Matt?
Bang on. That's the way I see it. We give him, it's like a preseason game right now as far as I'm concerned, with the score 47-18. Get him some quality reps when the real bullets are flying and see what the kid's got. I know what he's got. I just want to see it.
Hamilton going for 2 here. Calaros to the goal line, and it's good.
It's just too easy.
Andy Fantuz, and I know you're a big proponent of going for 2 more often than not.
Yes. You from the 3-yard line, and you have an advantage. And it's easy pickings. You spread them out and you just go to work and play pitch and catch, or you run the football through big lanes. You don't bunch it in there and play smash mouth football. You use the width of this football field to your advantage, spread the defense out, make them honor the gaps in the interior by taking in wider splits, and you have all kinds of running lanes for your ISO, even your athletic quarterbacks pulling it, getting on the edge, pressuring the defense with pass or run. So many options available to you, and you only got to get 3. Come on, Gord. 2 points is a given up here now.
So we talked about it in the first half. The worst loss the Bombers have suffered in this stadium since it opened 2 years ago. 53-17 to the BC Lions.
Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Maurice Leggett last series had a chance to have a pick six himself to go make it a 21-point ball game, and now Hamilton takes it, and a couple of breaks go their way, and it's a 31-point ball game.
Now Medlock kicking it from back deep after the penalty. And there's Damon Washington.
There you go.
And Washington gets tripped up as he crosses the 50-yard line, but the Bombers have decent field position, and now some pushing and shoving breaks out at the end of the play as Winnipeg's Thaddeus Gibson is into it.
Well, Damon Washington, I love to see him back there in that punt return situation. He's got 3 punt returns for touchdowns, and he's also got 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns. He's one of the most dangerous, underutilized returners in the league as far as I'm concerned.
From the 52, Brom throws it out. Fielder Godino, and he fights close to a first down into Hamilton territory, down to the 48-yard line. Time winding down here in the third quarter. 49-18 Hamilton with the lead. We mentioned the Ticats opened the season with 4 consecutive road games. They stayed on the road, played in Calgary last week, stayed in Alberta to practice as their stadium is unavailable due to the Pan Am Games. Zach Collaros, a little side trip to Lake Louise to check it out. Look out. Cotton gets the handoff and was almost going the other way, but Cotton picks up a first down as he busts through close to the 30-yard line and picks up 16 yards.
Yeah, you got Brian Brom reaching and riding, trying to read the defensive end, but he didn't have to because the defensive end was in his face. He just slid the ball to Cotton, and Cotton did the rest.
So the third quarter comes to an end with the Hamilton Ticats having things their way, scoring every which way in Winnipeg in week number 2 of the Canadian Football League season. Here are the numbers after 3 quarters of play. This is the most points the Ticats have ever scored in a game in Winnipeg. A 49-18 lead, and the big number that stands out, 22 points off turnovers for the Ticats, and throw in a special teams touchdown as well. Matt, this has been a big bounce-back performance for the Hamilton Ticats after a really tough loss last week in Calgary.
Absolutely. Tough to regroup, but they did on the road. We've talked about it, had a chance to bond there, and this football team found a way to get together and make it happen. It's about staying true to the process, and the process that Ken Austin is always preaching is attention to detail, getting back on that horse and riding and doing the things that give you a chance to be successful when you're playing your 60 minutes of football here week to week. Big believer in that, and they got her done.
First down, the fourth quarter opens with Brom throwing it off to Fielder Godino, and he's cut down by Ed Gainey.
Ed Gainey, 11 tackles last week against the Calgary Stampeders, was a busy man. Made that one look easy. He went low as Godino went high, and sure tackle. That's what you want. You're going to have a lot of that with the rule changes, Gordon, with the zone coverage. People are going to have to be able to sure tackles. A lot of players in space out there, so you got to be able to come up there, break down, and make those tackles in space consistently with the rule changes.
Here comes the rush again. Brom steps up, throws it way out there, and does. A lot of hang time on that throw, and it's caught by Chris Bastian.
Well, the problem was he couldn't follow through properly. He had to kind of threw that flat-footed about 45 yards.
It's a long throw.
Yeah, it is, and it took a long while to get out there because he couldn't follow through and transfer his weight. Watch what he does. The ball's going to be snapped, and then he's going to have pressure. Going to move to his left, and he's going to throw off his back foot right there.
I love the wide field throw, Matt. That's a 50-yard throw to gain 15.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of quarterbacks get it out there quicker, but, you know, he got the job done there.
Ticats show blitz again. Brom throws, and the pass is caught by Darvin Adams. Gain of 4 on the play.
Guys, these are solid reps. These are good throws and moving the chains, and like Paul LaPolice said down on the sidelines, you have to compete. These are quality reps that this guy needs. We heard Jock Climby talk about it at halftime. He believes Brom needs some quality reps. But I'm a big believer that Robert Marv does too.
Flags are down. Brom throws towards the goal line. Nick Moore makes the catch and fights his way down to the 1. This is probably coming back. Look as though the Bombers were offside. Both sides are pointing at each other. The biggest thing the Bombers need to do, Matt, is get better at home.
Yeah, 4-14.
4-14 in this stadium since it opened.
Not good enough. And everybody says the right things.
Winnipeg, number 83.
These fans deserve better. And they do. This team is close. This team is close.
Paul LaPolice, you concur with that assessment about home field being the biggest issue facing this team?
Certainly, you know, with a crowd like this, and when you get this crowd going, when you're winning games and this crowd is excited, this is as a lot of places you'll find in the Canadian Football League. So you got to make that an advantage for you, and you can't be in situations where you're late in the game.
Get there!
Brian Brown got there.
Yes!
Runs it in
Yes!
from 17 yards out.
Good for him. Just had enough real estate before the posse met him at the goal line. That was beautiful. It was like he's going to get there because he knew he had a lot of space and green in front of him to eat up, and defenders were closing quickly, and it was just a matter of whether or not he was going to have enough gas to get there. Had a beautiful job of awareness, pocket presence. Watch him step up here. Ball's going to be snapped. He's going to have pressure off the edge. And he just step up, feels the gap, and then gets on his horse. And then it's a race. Simone Lawrence catches up to him, rides him, but not before Brian Brahms in the end zone.
So the Bombers will go for two here, down 49-24.
That was fun. That was fun to watch.
Wasn't necessarily a Olympic caliber sprinting, but
But it was just, is he going to make it? Because he had plenty of open field in front of him. Was he going to get tracked? It was tight.
Here comes Marv to run the two-point convert play.
This guy.
Fake to Cotton.
Get out there.
He's being flushed out. He lost the ball, and Craig Butler pounces on it. Now a flag comes down in the end zone at the end of the play.
Defensive pass interference. They're going to get the ball at the 1.5-yard line.
So Nick
Try it
Moore
again.
was down there with Brandon Stewart.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. DPI. Ball's going to move up halfway distance goal line, be the 1.5, and Marv going to kick the can.
Hamilton number 20. Half the distance, we retry.
Okay.
Marv lost complete control of that ball when he tried to sling it.
All right, so now you try it from the 1.5. As I mentioned last week,
They brought in
CFL
the
teams
big
are 5 for 6 on two-point convert tries.
And they had some personnel change here. They brought in the big boys. So
Yeah.
I'd look for a little smash mouth football here. They got, it looks like Bryant Jr.
Gonna run the I formation here.
is leading the way.
And Cameron Marshall in. And so the Bombers add 2. And it's now a 49-26 game with just under 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
This ain't over, Gord. This is not over. This could happen. I'm telling you.
Winnipeg is the host city for the 2015 Grey Cup, and 25 years ago, the Bombers won the 1990 Grey Cup. A number of members of that team, including Chris Walby, the Hall of Famer.
The
And
last time
team,
they won a Grey Cup.
and they haven't won one since. See Dave Ritchie in there, their defensive coordinator on that team, went on to become the head coach.
I heard things got a little crazy yesterday, a little get-together.
You heard that, did you?
Yes, I did. I wasn't there. I was studying for this game.
Really?
Yes.
Because when I got to the hotel last night, you weren't here.
Well, I was with
Yeah, okay.
I was on the Red River on a pontoon boat.
Preparing for the game?
There's a big man. I know that guy. That's
Bob Irving.
Bob Irving, and there's Doug Brown.
Doug Brown doing the color.
Yeah, I was with Bob Sokowski, Mike Kelly.
And there's Brandon Banks out to the 28-yard line. So you look back at that team in 1990.
Whew, that was it. That was game was close in the first half, and then it got ugly in the second half. Tracy Ham,
Yes.
he was like me out there. Couldn't find anybody other than the defense, and he was feeding them up. And then Tom Burgess just went to work, and the defense, I believe, scored 3 second-half touchdowns, and it was a rout.
That Bomber defense in the early 90s, as good as the league has seen.
Yes. Pressure defense, much like we're seeing here from Hamilton. There was Speedy.
Look now to Banks again. We saw this in the first half quite a bit, and Banks gets maybe a couple on the play. And Matt, we've seen this over the years with excellent return men as teams try to integrate them into the offense and try to find a way to get them more involved in the offense?
I don't like it with him because he is so valuable with his return game. I think it can soften the defense, but he can't take that much abuse for 18 weeks in a row. He can't be hit by 250, 260-pound guys coming from inside out when he's trying to cut back. I just don't think I don't think we'll see him for 18 weeks if they continue to do that.
Here comes the rush, and Collaros finds Fantus. He gets collared down at the 43-yard line, and that's a Hamilton first down.
Hey, this is experience here. This is Andy Fantus in his glory. Watch this route. He knows where he's got to get to. Watch this. He's going to give it to him. Bang, stick it, got leverage, come in there, put it on me, let me do my thing.
8 catches for 75 yards for Andy Fantus, who had 9 catches last week.
I'm telling you, he's going for 120 this year. He could go for a record. He's going to have that kind of year.
He will not break the record. It's 160.
I think he can do it. Mookie Mitchell, 160 back. I think
in the run and shoot.
Well, what do you think this is? What do you think we're watching here? This is a version of it. This is a spread offense that is taking advantage of defenses that are on their heels and kind of handcuffed, figuring out the new rule change with no impeding, redirecting, all those things after 5 yards. I believe it's going to change our game, and I believe people like Andy Fantus got an opportunity, legitimate opportunity, to catch 160.
Second and long. Collaros fires. And
there's another one.
Here he keeps going. He's only, what? That's 18 catches now, so he's only 142 short.
It's a long year.
Imagine 160 catches in a season.
How about those numbers? I'll take those 24/7. He's still got 9 minutes to go. I'm surprised he's still in the ball game. 23 points, though, is not a lot in this Canadian Football League.
These are the quarterbacks with 300-yard games last year. Zach Collaros and Drew Willie each had 6. Now the difference is Collaros only appeared in 13 games last year. Drew Willie, by the way, in his career has only missed 1 game to injury.
That's impressive. Well, we talked about a kid earlier, Tim Cronk, for the Bombers. He's never missed an opportunity. I think he's Iron Man.
8.5 to go here in the 4th quarter. We'll be back here next week for the Alouettes at the Bombers.
Nah, I misspoke. That's Michelle Brown from the University of Montreal, undrafted free agent for Winnipeg. Never missed a ball game since making the football team. 64 straight. That's a good play right in the backfield. Jake Thomas.
Hawley gets wrapped up, so now it's 2nd and 13 after, or 2nd and 12 rather, after the loss of 2.
4th-year player from Acadia, Jake Thomas. He and Zach Anderson clogging things up in the middle. Run stopping my boy from La Tech, Ray Hawley. That ain't right, man. I want him to do well.
Late substitution made by the Bombers as Anderson comes in. And Collaros looking there for Sinkfield. He's got it.
Man, I love that.
Over DeMond Washington. Terrell Sinkfield makes the catch.
Leverage route. Got a 61 combination, corner to hitch. Right here, watch this. Let me see if I can get it to you. He's going to run a corner. He's going to have leverage. And I like what he does with his big body afterwards. DeMond Washington's beat off the ball because he can't hit him. He comes back, shields him with his big body, and makes Collaros look pretty good on a suspect throw.
25-yard gain for Sinkfield.
Yes.
Who's no slouch in the return department himself.
Oh, my goodness. They got McDuffie, who's not even on the roster. Sinkfield and Banks, they're loaded.
And now Sinkfield is tripped up on a great defensive play. Made there.
Chris Randall.
By Chris Randall.
Chris Randall's typically a corner. He's moved to strong side linebacker this year. It's kind of hybrid position in the Canadian Football League. You got a run stop. You got to bang against big number 3 receivers on the inside. Then all of a sudden, You've got some of the best receivers. You got to cover one-on-one. Nice play there, recognizing run coming up and being aggressive, getting Sinkfield down.
Now Caleros.
Not in there. Not in there. That's what a
Took
posse
one.
is.
Underwood makes the catch and gets down to the 30-yard line.
I would like to see Underwood go back out because the posse, all the pressure and potential danger.